All right, familia, we are all the way live on YouTube. What's up? Hello, world. And so it's going to be live streamed, and this also means that it's recorded and it'll be kept here on our Los Angeles Poet Society YouTube page, which I welcome everyone to. If maybe Tori or Sol, if you can, or Jesse, get the link to the YouTube and just share it, and people can subscribe. But that's also how you can resend and share this link after today. And I'm going to go ahead and make Tori the main host, and I'll just be here. But thank you, everyone. Go Team Acidverse. I'm so proud of all the work that everyone's done. And it's just a beautiful literary journal. We're going to be going for awards and all kinds of good stuff. And I'm going to go ahead and make Tori the main host, and I'll just be here. But wow. Oh, now I got feedback. But anyway, I'll mute myself and everything, but I just want to let you know we're all set up. There's captions, and I'm excited. Thank you, Tori and Sol and Jesse, for setting up our launch. Take Omateo, Omateo.
Yes. So this is actually the second event for Acidverse. 2 weeks ago, there was a live event over in Fresno for that event. It looked like it was a good time for what I saw on social media for pictures and all that. So anything else you want to add to like how it was, Tori?
Yeah, hi everyone. I'm Tori. I'm the chief editor of Acidverse. Thank you all for being here. I'm so glad I'm meeting some of you virtually, but in person. It's been great just reading your poetry, and you all made this issue be amazing. So I really want to thank you all for being here. Fresno, I wasn't able to go. I was really sick that week, so I was actually virtual. But I heard that it was really well. It went really well. It was also hosted by one of our local Fresno poets, and yeah, it was really cool. There was Leslie Ortega from LA showed up in person, so we had some LA representation out there, and we kind of did a hybrid virtual event, and they had the Fresno poets did like an open mic afterwards, so it was a really cool way that we networked together. And I have a lot of love for Fresno. I really consider it the birthplace of poetry and the ongoing poetry center of the earth. So I have a lot of love. Yeah, it was great.
For sure. And then Soledad con carne. For the third issue, is the co-editor for the Acidverse 3. Is there any thing you want to share briefly about the experience of doing making this journal with Tari?
Um, so this was like the first time I've ever done anything in an editorial sense. So that was like a really interesting experience in itself. And it was amazing to work with Tori. Like I know we both were dealing with our own like personal things throughout that year. So the fact that we got the journal out with all these like amazing artists and writers, like it came out beautiful, and it was just a really like interesting experience to have overall.
Oh, sweet, wonderful. And then from people seeing it online and sharing it on social media and hearing it on the radio show, I know it's been getting a lot of amazing feedback, and they give props to both of you for just making this issue awesome and so like interdisciplinary and more than just like words on print, and like you can just listen to like on SoundCloud and all that, and all the exposure that's been going on through Radio Orleans. Oh, one thing that Jessica Wilson did mention a bit ago about awards is that for this particular journal, Acidverse 3, there has been one person that has been nominated for Best Small Fictions from Acidverse 3, and that person is Mike Sonskin for their prose poem Middle Earth. So yeah, congratulations to Mike Sonskin for receiving that nomination through Society, and we're looking forward, to seeing if it, I guess, in a sense, wins, which for awards anthologies, meaning that it just gets republished into their annual journal. Yeah. hmm hmm So with that said, I'm gonna go ahead, since it's 2:13, I'm gonna go ahead and call up the first reader. So my video will be going on and off a lot because I am gonna be reading it through like email. So let's see here. Okay. The first person I'd like to call up, and I'm glad they're here right now, is Don Giesbe. Um, he is a poet, translator, and teacher. and the son of Bolivian immigrants from Brazil. He was born in Sao Paulo, but lives in Rio de Janeiro, two multicultural cities which influenced Quiespe's poetic style. As a bilingual LGBT immigrant descendant, Don Quixpe carries language puns, irony, pain, the search of independence, and self-love in his writings, a decolonized, anti-racist, anti-homophobic poetry, which is present in anthologies in Argentina, Brazil, and Chile. The word Quispe means free in Quechua, a language of the people from the Andes, highlands in South America, mainly Bolivia and Peru. It is what the author intends through his art to set himself and others around him free. Cheers, and let's give yours to Don.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for the introduction. I prepared some videos. I don't know if I'm able to share them. I just clicked on the button share screen, but it says here that I'm not allowed to share. May I? I think the host needs to click on some buttons to accept the sharing of my screen, because I have some videos that I prepared with a lot of affection. I really would like to play them.
Okay, I made you the co-host, so I feel like you'd be able to.
Okay. Thank you. Well, I've selected 4 or 5 poems, but I'm controlling the time here. Please tell me if I'm overstepping the time. First one's called Bruja. It's in Spanish.
Como eu disse, o nome do poema é
Can you listen to it?
Bruxa, em espanhol, Bruja,
Does
Yeah,
it
we can-
sound?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
ok? Entonces, muchas gracias por su atención y va a empezar bien. Thank you. Bruja, 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 bruja.
Quémenla, quémenla esa bruja, quémenla, quémenla esa bruja pecadora, no la quemes, quémenla, quémenla, bótenla en la fogata, ya, no. Sí, soy bruja. Soy bruja. Hace siglos solían llamarme de bruja. Y confieso, aún me encanta el negro, va con el color de mis ojos. Mis sueños los quemaron en la fogata y desde entonces me transformé en su pesadilla. Y cada vez que veo sus rostros de miedo, de asco, de espanto, te cuento que gimo, gimo, gimo y casi vengo. Ten cuidado, no te acerques, queriendo botarme a la fogata de nuevo. Con tus habla fuerte, pórtate como hombre, maricón. Hago magia con los vellos de mi culo. ¿O es que prefieres verga? Y pronto estarás de rodillas, suplicando por unos besos más. Pobrecito, estoy tan ocupada, hechizando hombres, y hechizando y quemando sus certezas, y qué frágiles certezas, y quemando su virilidad, y qué frágil virilidad. Los estoy quemando en mi cuerpo, culo y verga de maricón. Es eso. Gracias.
This is the first poem. It was in the launching of my book here in Brazil.
Don, really quick. So we weren't able to see the video that you had just played. Like it's just showing us the file screen. I think you might need to switch screens on your computer as you're sharing videos.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
No worries. Sorry, we didn't get to see if you want to play it again, like maybe after the first few videos or something, that might be okay. I'm not exactly sure because Jesse's the main host on this one today.
No, no problem. I can try to play the second, just can move on.
You know what? Just start playing videos once you are able to. Starting for second video. Due to time constraints, we'll just
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm just gonna read then. After I'll try to set it up after the other presenters if there's time available. Then I'm gonna read. The first one that I prepared is called Substance. It goes like this. Substance you are, no one's completeness, rather a desire of momentariness. A pill to stay still. Now you're wherever, everywhere you will. Fears, pleasures, who cares? Masturbate then till they come across your speechless, fragile, stolen essence. Silently you recoil. After orgasms, you're nothing but transitory. You're nothing but brief substance. This is the first one. And second one, just a second. The second one is called Arena Thoughts. I think I wrote this when I was 21 years old. Now I'm 30. It was a passionate thing. Anyways, it goes like this. A rain of thoughts, then it stops. And what rains now is your eyes. Once again, you find a safe place to deposit your frustration, anger, and even your sperm. How good would it be if after unloading all of that, you saw there's more. There's good, kindness, fun, wisdom, and so on. But all you see is otherwise. You're empty, so empty, one could argue there is a well where once there was a heart. But where's the water? You want to dive into yourself, but the water has dried long ago. It's funny, because this hollow of mine is warm and tight. That's what you say every night. You make it very wet, actually. It feels so divine. Where did you hide all that water? You will realize one day, I hope, that I foresee the clouds, the storms, and the sunny days just by looking at your eyes, just by looking at your rainbow smile. But now, it's all foggy, and you will turn your head just so I don't see what's the weather like. Then you blow cold words. This heart of mine is now dry, hollow like your well. Your eyes are foggy. I can't see anything. A rain of thoughts. How much I wish it stopped. But it's okay. I may change just as the weather. I will close my eyes now and enjoy you for a while. This is second one. And I think I have time for one more. It's the last one, I promise. I couldn't hear you, sorry. Oh, thank you. And this last one is called A Beautiful Painting. I wrote this at college. I have a teaching degree here in Brazil, and we had to read the Oscar Wilde, oh my God, I forgot the name in English. The one about the painting. And it goes like this. I'm a beautiful painting. Don't come too close though, for you might get hurt by the toxicity of these oil paints that elicit my smile, by the look in my eyes that will meet yours and steal your breathing and freeze your throbbing heart that will unstoppably want to not stop looking at me. I'm a painting, indeed. Though I'd like to question you. If I'm the painting, then how come you are the one standing motionless? That's it. It ends with a question. Thank you all for the patience. I hope you have enjoyed it, and my Instagram, I'm gonna post it in the chat. It's at Eos Lyricus, which is South lyrics, something like that. Thank you all.
Thank you so much for that.
Thank you, Don. That was awesome. If y'all want to share your links to your books, anything, go ahead and put it on the chat. That was great. I also made all the readers today. You are all the co-hosts, so you're free to share anything on your screen as well when it's your time up.
All right. So with that said, next up, I'm gonna call up. I hope I don't mean to mispronounce this, but Kwan Yon Huevo is a poet from Anaheim, California, and Saigon, Vietnam. Her work has been featured in Dia Critics, Acid Verse, and Loves Zine. She is an alumna of Roots, Wounds, Words, and Canyon Review workshops. In her free time, Fyong likes to play piano, sing songs on repeat, and laugh with friends. She currently resides in Long Beach, California, land of the Tongva and Keys people. You can find her on Instagram at JasmineGreenT96, and also she will be appearing on Reading in Bed with Jessica sometime in March. So let's give ears to Juan.
Thank you, Jesse. Thank you again to Tori, Jessica, and Soledad for publishing this amazing journal. I'll read my first poem. I'll read from the journal itself. It's called Ode to Vietnamese Songs. And it starts with like 4 lyrics line from this song. That means to cry river, and then I'll translate it in English. But it goes, tôi hay nhớ về quê nhà vào buổi chiều, nhất là những buổi chiều mưa rơi. Cũng may Cali trời mưa ít không như Sài Gòn, nếu không tôi đã khóc một dòng sông. So I miss my homeland in the evenings, on evenings when rain falls. Lucky that Cali doesn't rain like Saigon, otherwise I would cry river. By Đức Huy. So, okay. Now, you were so uncool to listen to as a teenager. Friends gossip for Bieber or Gaga, but I never confess I love you more. Your 90s tangy voice drowning toward a life you didn't ask for. You were so mainstream vid, I couldn't even call you counterculture. Just me alone, bellowing Bangkyu or Minh Tuyết, like I was heartbroken for a friend who asked my father to adopt her. Years later, can I bear to tell her, though no whips wilted my skin, my father's anger was no less than her own? Oh, Vietnamese songs, how cliché and cheesy were your 2000s lyrics, all about obsession or a boy cheating, but never the houses that rumble when dishes smash toward the floor and I turn you down, softer and softer until I disappeared. Oh, I miss Saigon's rain, tiny hoofs on tin roofs, the thunders, a distant danger. When my father, a happy man, a doting figure, still comfortable in his own skin and tongue, helped me close and stroke my hair. So that's the first poem. The second poem I'll read is called Someday I'll Love Phương Võ, and it's after Ocean Vuong's, Someday I'll Love Ocean Vuong. Okay. So Someday I'll Love Phương Võ. Phương ơi, don't be afraid. To be rootless is to have many homes, so say the romantics. To be rootless is to always miss a home, to always think of the ones who have loved you and now no longer do. To feel their presence on days that shiver, and you salvage their love with tattoos, the blood oozing out like warmth, but even the lines grow fuzzy with time. So you try to love the wandering, the way a stranger here or there falls in step with you. You call this stranger's love and follow a man home because dark dust felt lonely, then bolt out because you're alone in a foreign land, but what is foreign anyways? Home is everywhere but never where you are. So you do it again. Months later, this time the man gives you a shirt so midnight blue you stay past sunset. The horizon, orchid, the same childhood you are sick of, you wonder where to go next, but the loneliness, it always catches up. So now you promise to stay, to have a street lamp feel so familiar you mistake it for the moon. Fungi, to be rootless is to grow trees out of boredom and overwater them. Each plant that comes to you die first before you learn how to care. Like today, you break your heart in languages you will never know, singing, here can be home too. Yeah. Let's see. Okay. I don't I don't write too many love poems. But this one is a one from a while back, and I read it by accident again, and then I grew nostalgic, so I'm adding it in here. It's called Dorm Room. Yeah. The day I vacate my room, you came to stand by the door frame. All the walls whiten again, the bookshelf empty. You asked if there was anything I wanted to do our last night together. Your head in my lap, your lying curls spread across my knees, how easy it was to kiss you. I curve down to your ears. We go to sleep. You huffed, puffing your long legs you jerked away, and I feel with regret. We were hormones still in your arms, I believe. And then, let's see. I think just two more poems. This one is a new poem. It's called Our Fathers. It's a ghazal. I'm trying to write more form, and we'll see. It's an experiment, but it's called Our Fathers. Alone, grandfather dies of COVID. Father for decades had cut off contact. Father flies to hold his father's picture one last time. Eldest son of the eldest son of the eldest son insists father means something. By the door, he hangs grandfather's picture. Father confesses his father abandoned him, so he never abandoned me. For the aesthetics, father asked my thoughts on the placement of the photo. A handsome man in his youth, father married all the ladies in town, father jokes. One hand on his hip, thumbs up. This father who calls me for every heartbreak never called at the funeral. It seems our fathers are ours to hold alone. When the plane landed, there were no more words. Already grandfather closed his eyes. Ours alone to hold, quiet grief. At home alone I asked if grandfather, head hanging toward chest, what he couldn't do in life, to do in death, to watch over father. And then I'll end the reading with another ode. It's called Ode to the Cockroach in My Childhood Home. This was a true story. I went back to Vietnam right before the pandemic, and the first night there was a cockroach. So here it is. Ode to the Cockroach in My Childhood Home. In another world, they don't believe you can fly. I once sprinted to you through you the way one dashes the street with friends one never noticed grew up. Our skin must have kissed by the corners before, your translucent brown wings whizzing the bowl cut of my black hair. Did you learn math and practice calligraphy with me too? I tell your friends of your size, the fat of your legs drumming these walls into music at night. Well, not you, your family. Your ancestor threw parties out of leftovers and sewer juice guzzling up the kitchen pipes, white street lights blaring their wings. American flies are big, but you, Vietnamese cockroaches, never die. My local guy, I follow you tonight through blue-white tiles, grasping for everything and hope to find only a yellowing toilet missing a seat. Still it functions, still you are the only one who greets me home. Thank you, everyone.
Oh, thank you so much for that. No, it reminds me of just, seeing the little cockroaches, they're like ants now. So it's like, whatever, I'll let them be. If it's the big ones, I still get freaked out. I'm not gonna lie. But thank you so much for that. I really appreciate it. We all appreciate it today. let's see. I missed. Okay, there you go. Okay. All right. So our next reader is also gonna be on Reading in Bed with Jessica in March, and that's gonna be Stephanie Says. So I'm gonna just pull up the bio real quick here. Oh yeah. Stephanie Says is a first generation disabled and queer Chicana, born and raised from the San Fernando Valley. Their work is inspired by everyday whimsical joys and their life as a disabled person. They are an artist, poet, model, content creator, hairdresser, daughter, friend, lover, foe. All right, so let's give it up for Stephanie Says.
Hi, everybody. Good to see all your faces, new ones and old ones. Anyway, I'm going to start with a blanket of notes, and it's the first poem in acid verse. Here it goes. A blanket of notes. I'm surfing the wind. I glide in my wheelchair, side to side. My hair is doing a dance with my mascaraed lashes. Left, right, left, right. El gato caresses every part of my being. The voices in my ear readjust my crooked view. No rose tinted here. Just me, all skin and bones. Melodies and rhymes are my medicine. My morphine. The combination melts away all worries, all humiliation, all the bullying, the screams. Here, in this peaceful place I've built, there's always more room for glimmers. Here, the child within my teenager self and my adult self can coexist. Here, I'm abundant. Here, I'm whole. Thank you. Next one is, I believe, Red Laced, and it's in a series of almost lovers. I've given up the smoke. I had the pleasure of his acquaintance. We met under my trees. He greeted me with animosity. I met him with my anomaly. I planned to show him real love, insecurity from his mouth. It pushed us worlds apart. He had to settle down. He had a little maturing to do. His eyes were too focused on man's temporary pleasures. She was busy breaking cycles. She understood life's real meaning. From a dream she received, his daddy said he needs to grow. His grandmother said to me, not right now. So I set him free. Thank you. And the next, sorry, there's like people outside and I'm outside in my yard. The next one is called Hospital Halls. This one's more for my Disability Pride Month. Hospital Halls. La Santísima rides with me. She has been at my hospital bedside more times than I can count. I don't fear her kiss. I see God's reflection in the eyes and grins of strangers' faces, and the lady at the grocery store, or the male nurse that wiped my ass. It's the people I swoosh past every day. I'm not afraid of death. It's the never-ending pain I fear will consume me, that I'll forget me. I lie in bed as my mind spirals. I'm high, so numbingly high. My doctor reminds me I've grown immune to my new medication. I've lost muscle strength again. My siblings burst into laughter. I'm back in my body again. I'm alive. Thank you. This one is also from Disability Pride Month. It hasn't really been published, but it's one of my go-to poems that I like to, read. It's called Crooked. Slanted, inflamed knees, my wheelchair swooshing past blurred faces. I go full throttle, avoiding the stares as to dodge their projections of me. Curious faces, furrowed brows, pursed lips, noses turned upwards. It's the questioning from their lips. What do you do for work? You see the wheels turning, condescending. I'm immediately judged. I'm worthless in their eyes. Most can't even assemble the words properly. Yes, it's called a wheelchair, I say. I've crawled up numerous stairs, over dog shit and spider webs to find my own shelter. I've watched my dreams disintegrate between my swan-necked fingers. As I laid in hospital beds, saline drip, and deep into a morphine meditation, I remember I am in a body that's often frustrating. I acknowledge my skin deserves patience and love. I spend so much of my time rejecting myself just like they did. Hardened, swollen knees, a soft heart, bruised, eroding hands. I feel the need to protect from hands of gorillas that can't hold a gentle flower without smashing it into their palms. Is it so bad? What is so bad about hovering in my chair? Thank you. This next poem I recently wrote, and I would like to share it. Let me find it. Also, thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure to be here with everybody. And also thank you to everybody who had their cute hands on Acid Verse, the journal. Thank you. Let's see. She's free. A fatherless child, the San Fernando Valley raised me. It's toughened me. Shedding skins down Cedros Avenue, Nordhoff Street, Tobias Street, Laurel Canyon. My skin regrew thicker. I slithered. The innocent Bible lady outside of Walmart taught me not to be so trusting, and that it was okay to run a bitch over if they tried it. Making out with the boy with the Felix the Cat tattoo on his nalga down Willis Street. He's crazy like me. Thank you.
Oh my God. That was so funny. Seriously. Yeah. Well, awesome. Thank you so much, Stephanie, for reading. Yeah, let's all give it up for her. Everyone loved it. Awesome. I'm seeing all the comments here. I loved it. Fire. Tender poems that you read. Yeah.
Amazing.
Okay, so let me go back to my bio list here. Who I'm gonna call up next. And that person is gonna be, as soon as I can open it. Come on, come on, come on. All right. Brian Kwan is an artist, poet, and amateur mythologer from the Bay Area who currently resides in New York City. Brian is almost never seen without a sketchbook, and no amount of scrubbing will free his hands of the ink stains. Whether through prose, poetry, or illustration, he actively positions himself as a witness to late-stage reality, where his works seek to poke holes in the tapestry of myth and symbol from which we weave collective experience. All right, let's get up for Brian Kwan.
Thank you.
Woo!
Thanks again to Sol and Tori and everybody at LA Poet Society and Acidverse. This is actually the first time I think that my poems have been published like anywhere. So yeah, the work that you guys have put towards this is a kindness and a gift to all of us. So thank you guys. So the first poem I have is from Acidverse. It was written for the magazine, I think. It's called Punk. Old spot got raided. New spot copy pasted, DM'd, text chained, kept on the DL. Don't let any pigs in congregation. Our shadows look different when cast in flashing blue lights. They burn. Pompeii bright, a sacred circle, huddling in the rusted out holes of long dormant beasts of war, long since slouched, stillborn munitions, toys that Uncle Sam got tired of playing with, now given breath by what may have started life in some distant, faraway time as a simple chord progression, dusty snakeskin, calluses plucking oiled strands, a hum, gorging itself on hijacked power lines, siphoned electricity, hypertrophied analog diaphragm, amplified emergent, howling, a distant echo vaulting across rippling waters. Our shadows dance. No cave, no cage for this brief, sweet moment where we make mockery of death, where we let the curse of land fall away, and we are paper birds born of the twin gods of youth and rage. Okay, that was punk. This next one is called The Angel of History. I see now the utter naivete in my attempt to pin down an angel of history. Admittedly, it's a bad angle, a slip of the tongue, a fragment off the totality, its wings glittering, pinned down in the glass, a lie, insofar as it reflects just the one looking back, a body held taut, bent to the task, filled with empathy for every artist who tried to make the world make sense. 88 keys, hermeticized system, the magus kisses the seal, bilateral, trilateral, symmetry, assimilate, try, again, smoke like flow state, the so obvious and makes them say it in their heads, precious pressure dripping out the pen, a stem, a branch, a scar, a plucked strand, a dark room, a hand demanding perfection out the mess, again, thrown ceramic, a testament to supple flesh as yet unsculpted by manufactured time and the scarcity thereof. This is the one for the cultivation of the chasm between understanding and mastery, for those who grasp that every alchemist who threw their lives at gold was only living by the king's graces. And the last one I have is called Practical Disposal Methods for the Incendiary Artist. Put them in body bags. Add doused rags and toss them back with velocity. Dead poets are the foundation of most existing business monopolies. The monarch is gazing off his balcony to find the whole mob is digital. Non-critical readings of history, all cyclical, fiscally pistol whipping the implicit pain of Americana, out the bleached bone business practice remaining unslipped through supple fingers, supposedly invisible but practically just more dividends, interest, mood boards, midlands, punctuated by tributaries distributing a standardized vision. The prevailing mood is one of both comfort and ease. It is here you learn to wield yourself as a scalpel. Past catalyzed, rusted out, resting on their axles, practiced vandals, bobbing and weaving through hostile terrain, signs and inference, permissible pain, ancient rain interred in a bottle. Genie keeping its fist on throttle, a techno-corpo capita feudalistic exquisite corpse fused from the delicate disparates, organs organizing themselves from behind a double-blind garbage in, garbage out, time branded in the heads of our children, cavities bored into the surface of the sun. Who left the machine running? Who can speak for the dead? Who can testify for whatevers was whose? Who generates the scarcities? Who manufactures the discontent? Whose dictated continuities of art and content root our pleasure and consumption? The machine's a function of whose dreams? Whose sacred excesses invested in the compulsory recursive of its own birthing? Whose futures are knotted in raw communion, rotting at the head? Let's save it from itself. Pull the tail out the mouth. Close the loop. I'll deny you my means for your ends. Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you so much for that, Brian. That was awesome. Appreciate it. And you've designed some poetry collections for people in the Bay Area, right? I think I've seen your name around before.
Yeah, I've done some visual art. I think the one you probably saw was with Mimi Tempest for City Lights. And yeah, I have some visual art also in Acid Verse, so keep an eye out for that.
Oh, awesome. Great. Cool. All right, so next person I'm gonna be calling up as soon as I get to the list here. Oh, this is gonna be our second to last person. Natalie Garcia, aka La Brujita de Jardín, is a Chicana poet, author, songwriter, spoken word artist, and actress. Her writing focuses on healing, self-love, and spiritual manifestation. She specializes in creating manifesting rituals and guiding women with busy lifestyles to awaken their cosmic magic. Natalie uses the power of words and affirmations as a form of spiritual guidance for mental and emotional stability. Her intention is to help others become more self-aware, heal traumas, and remove creative blockages. Let's manifest going on more. So let's give it up for Natalie.
Thank you guys so much. Thank you to Soledad and Tauri for, just putting together this amazing, I know it was a journey and months of work, and, you're still pouring work into it. So thank you so much, for deep gratitude. Hermana, Jessica, thank you for building this beautiful community, allowing us to share space and, uplifting all of us. and Jesse for hosting, of course, and all of you guys for sharing. It's been so wonderful to hear you all. I'm going to share one of the poems that I have in acid verse, and it's called The Manifestations of a San Fernando Valley Kid. I know I got some A18ers in here, so shout out to everybody from the A18. This is dedicated to my father, who migrated here in the 1970s. And one of the songs that really connected with my family, and that's still whenever you put it on, is Lowrider by War. And I use that to really, inspire his journey here during the 1970s. So it was 1975, and Jose cruised in his 57 Bel Air through Van Nuys Boulevard. War, Santana, Richie Valens, La Bamba played as soon as he punched his time card. Low Rider, the Mexican and Chicano anthem. This was the only time he truly felt freedom. Driving so focused on the highway was his only form of artistic expression. On the other side of town, the Hollywood sign said, "Welcome to the land of the so-called free," where the gringos lynched the blacks, Filipinos, and Mexicans. No exceptions, no dogs, no trespassing. Low rider drives a little slower. They erased our history, brainwashed our society, but the truth is written in our bloody soil, our music and poetry. We sing it loudly to break free. You can't fool us anymore. We know our reality. Like every immigrant, Jose drove through every obstacle to manifest his American dream. Low rider is a real goer. He planted the seeds of freedom, wealth, and prosperity. He birthed a new generation, an army of artists rebelling against the racist structures for true equality. His dreams were endless possibilities. They crossed borders, broke through cycles, and created new realities. Low rider knows every street. You see, I'm one of the manifestations of that San Fernando Valley kid. I was harvested from the muddy waters, the deep rivers, the dry deserts. I am the native Mexican hybrid. Our American dreams were never about cars, houses, or money. We came here to uncover and reclaim our true identity, claiming the land of our forefathers and mothers relentlessly, to dismantle the systemic structures of white supremacy for true democracy and to create a new ancestral legacy. Take a little trip and see. Take a little trip with me. Thank you. That was my first one. Woo! And then the second one, I'm reading a poem from my book, Cosmica. You can find it on labrujardin.com too. Little plug, sorry. It's called Surrender. In all transparency, I battle with PTSD, depression, and anxiety. You will never see it by just looking at me and talking to me. I became good at hiding and pretending. Superwomen like me can't be weak or break easily, but it created a void in me. I'm filling it with my writing and poetry. I'm healing slowly, but it's a daily struggle that chokes me. Flight, fight, and fear, I feel it constantly. I have shadows that haunt me. I tried to avoid them, but they almost drowned me. This is me, authentically. I'm not weak. I'm not fighting. I surrender freely. I create my own reality. Empathy is a gift God gave to me purposefully. This is my vulnerability and humility speaking. I move with my intuition and the power inside me. I breathe deeply. And with gratitude, I release everything no longer serving me. Thank you. And then I will also read another one. This was my first poem that I actually ever read that I was like, wrote that I'm like, okay, maybe I should start putting these things together. But I was questioning, my grandma passed away, and I was questioning life and death and my fear behind it. So this is called The Ultimate Destination. Living, trying to avoid I'm asleep. Living, trying to forget I'm awake. Living, trying to find the answers to the questions I can't say. Deep in the journey, it will be my ultimate destination. I ask for the truth, no lies. I ask for clarity, no illusions. I ask for forgiveness, no fear. Deep within, it will be my ultimate destination. Looking behind in the past, looking forward to the future, looking here in the present. Deep in time, it will be my ultimate destination. Facing the reality I can't escape. Facing the darkness, walking down the road. Facing the inevitable. Everyone must go. Deep in the motion, it will be my ultimate manifestation. Without the dark, there is no light. Without the pain, there is no healing. Without destruction, there is no rebirth. Deep in the tunnel of the shadows and the light, it will be my ultimate destination. I was asleep, but now I'm fully awake. I was in fear, but now I'm at peace with no regrets. I was anxious, but now I'm content. Deep in the universe, it will be my ultimate destination. Thank you, guys. I have one last thing I'm gonna do is I'm known for my affirmations and my cards and my brujita magic. So I have my manifesting deck that I want to pull. We had a full moon yesterday in Virgo, and it was a very powerful moon because it helped ground us, and it's right before the new like astrological time, because spring is it's our actual new year. But I pulled this card called Awaken. I have awakened the magic brewing inside me. And this is a powerful, all of this sharing each other is awakening us in different ways. However you share your magic, through writing, to poetry, to just being in community, it's, awakening us all. And it's pure, it's manifestation and community, but it's really speaking to all of us in a way that we keep going. Even though if you think that it's not, nobody's listening, nobody's watching, or it's just a matter of time. We've all are awakening. So thank you.
All right. Yeah, thank you so much for that. And I didn't know it was a full moon. Maybe, I don't really pay attention to those too often. But I will say I did feel something a little different last night, just being out and about, especially after leaving the bookstore and celebrating a friend's birthday, and then making sure that, he got home, well, not home, but back to his hotel room back safe. And then he graciously allowed me to, just relax and not, drive back because I was all crazy too. But anywho, but thank you so much for that, Natalie. Really appreciate it. Alrighty, so let me see here. I'm just trying to click through. Okay, so I'm looking for the bio. Okay. The bio of one last person here, who is Christiane. Okay, I'm going back and back to the chat to look for it. Oh yeah.
I can repost it.
Person is Christiane Williams Vigil. Is a Chicana writer from El Paso, Texas. Her work has been published in various literary magazines such as Maria's at Sampaguitas, Fatal Flaw Literary Magazine, The Right Launch, Chismosa Press, and Latinx Literatures. Currently, she is a high school English teacher and staff writer at Alabria's Review. Let's all give ears to Christiane Williams Vigil.
Thank you so much, everybody. It's an honor being here and sharing the space with you all and hearing all your wonderful poetry. So let's get to it. My piece that appeared in Acid Verse is En Otra Vida. In another life, I am washing clothes by the river that snakes past my great-grandma's house. Blankets on the clothesline sway to the melody of forgotten corridos. The air flows in and out of my lungs with little effort. It's thick with mountain air and heat, but tastes sweet. In this timeline, I was born here on the other side of the border, wrapped carefully in sacred stories. The land is not broken or ripped apart by desperate times. Here I grow nopales by the sierras, clipping off vibrant red and purple tunas into woven baskets. I sleep under Chihuahuan desert skies, watching the clock-like rotation of galaxies and exploding stars. Below me would the mine still exist, and do the men in my family hear the siren call of silver, gold, and platinum? In another life, I will die inside of adobe walls. My ancestors will return that night to lift me off this world and pull me into theirs. And my ashes scatter across beige sands, flowing into the soils that nurture the coming seasons. Thank you. Next poem that I have for you all appeared in the Minison Project anthology. It's titled, if you're reading this, it's too late. I already made 14 lines about menudo. This is a love poem to menudo. Sunday mornings were made to consume you. Gracefully into blue-green talavera bowls topped with sacred oregano. My mouth waters for you as wisps of steam rise to caress my face. No spoon is good enough to dip into the seas of your ancient broth. Pozoles saturated by dark red chiles fill up these brown, adoring eyes. Orbs of oil bubble to your surface, disrupting my face's reflection. If tears fall into you, it's only because you stir endless joy. These tiny bowls next to you, cebolla, radish, and lime, serve to highlight your flavors. But you don't need them to be loved. I consume all of you, using bolillo bowl bread to soak up your last drops. One serving of you will never be enough to satisfy my craving. Please extinguish this pitiful longing I feel between your visits. Menudo, you ignite my soul on fire. So next poem I have, it's called Ella No Quiere, and it is a gold shovel poem inspired by Bad Bunny's song, Andrea. So Ella No Quiere. There is a wolf howl song written in bleeding ink for her. She wishes they wouldn't sing it on live feeds. She doesn't want recorded and rehearsed gestures. They only want to rain viral, analytically measured love on her, just a show for the millions watching, buying flower after flower to enhance, filter, and saturate this just as another layer of the fantasy. An idea that translates into likes and follows. Subscribe to see more. They don't please the oceanic depths of her heart. They don't know the bonds, like the roses, have already withered, and this is over for her. And my last one for the evening is called Melancolia. Piercing sadness pulls to remind me it will always linger. On my face are the markings and cracks of the day I became broken. Above me looms infinite crystal stars, younger sisters of the ones my ancestors mapped and obeyed. Let them guide me through this storm. Beneath my chapped heels, hellish magma flows. The ash gives birth to the sacred maguey. And it is between those worlds that I am here alone in the desert morning. It's in this moment I grieve with the roving wolves that throw their heads back and cry, how? With one last shallow breath, she whispered, agua, and my dreams flooded, nightly tangled in thick spools of wild kelp. I swim towards where I feel Mictlan might be. My hair flows up, mixing with pinprick-like bubbles of what was left inside our lungs. And the waves of my subconscious shove against me, awakening me from hope. Arms stretched across burning sands, eyes sore from the constant flow of tears and dry winds. Here there will be many seasons of drought. The moment that could have been are gone forever, carried off into the next world. An unknown mouth blows out candles surrounding my wounded body, and I rolled onto my back to weep into the heavens. And that's it. Thank you all so much.
Oh, thank you so much for that, Christiane. That was so wonderful, awesome. And there's actually people right now in the store listening to y'all reading poetry. They're enjoying it. Yeah, this is great. So it seems like all 6 featured poets have read already. So what we're gonna do right now, since we have time, is so earlier I had asked Tauri and Soledad con Carne about like what it was like to put together this issue. Now I turn the question over to our featured readers for today, and what I want to ask everyone, whoever wants to answer first, please do, is what was it like to like write work in relation to music? Because I know sometimes I hear people say like it's different, it's not something that's done that they think about too often, like doing the 2 and 2 together when they write their work, especially like intentionally in this way. Does anybody want to give their insights on what it was like? Yes, go ahead, Natalie.
Yeah, I do songwriting, so I do flow with music. But for this one particular, I feel like I wanted to, it's inspired by a song that really connects with your roots and who you are. And Lowrider was one of those songs that whenever you put it on my house, everybody just stops and starts dancing, no matter who it is and no matter what. We just it's like a family thing. And it took me back to like remembering like my parents sacrificing and coming and crossing the border and dealing with that. And even where they are, they were listening to music and escaping through music and poetry and all of this too. So for me it came natural, but it also kind of touched on remembering my father's legacy and what what he sacrificed, and also how he was really held back from expressing his true creativity. So in a way, I felt really honored to write and connect with the music through his eyes and kind of go back in time, and bring it to the present and share it with all you guys. So it was definitely one of the most inspirational poems that I wrote. It really opened me up in a different way. So I want to thank whoever came up with this idea, because it was so beautiful. And I've never written inspired by a song, and then it took me into this whole, completely different set of emotions. So thank you.
Thanks for sharing, Natalie. I love that story. And I just want to shout out to Soledad. Soledad was the mastermind behind this idea. So I just want to give that credit to Sol. And I really appreciate Sol for bringing this beautiful issue to life. Thank you, Sol.
Thanks, Will.
Does anybody else want to share their experience writing for this particular issue? Okay, so you know what? I'll probably have some of the people that are in the audience ask questions for the contributors that read today. I see a couple people that are supporters and friends of the editors here on. Do you guys want to ask any questions?
Well, I want to ask a question to the editors. What was it like putting the journal together? What do you like, not like? Yeah, how was the process for you? I know Sol said it was interesting, so.
Tori, do you want to go first?
Sure. Yeah, I could go first. Yeah, I think for me, this process was really different in the sense that the two previous acid verses, it was just me as a editor, and it was really cool. Like I liked it, but I also felt like I wanted to give that platform to another person as well. I always feel like with poetry, it's really community based for me. Like a lot of art is, but I just was like, hey, I have this going on. It would be really cool to have like a co-editor. So me and Sol were talking one time, and I just kind of brought it up, kind of like as a joke, but not really. I was like, hey, you should be the co-editor. And they were, he was really on it about it. So I was like, yeah, let's make this really a reality. And we kind of Sol had this really cool idea of having it be a music theme with a Spotify playlist, and I thought that was really dope. I had never heard of that before. I never seen anyone do that. So working with Sol was really cool, and I really love that we have a Spotify playlist. That is so dope for me, to have that. I take so much pride in that. And I also think that just having Sol there and us working together really brought that to life, because I wouldn't have thought of that without Sol. And I really also want to thank Jessica too, because Jessica provides this platform. And with Jessica's help, I was able to bring Acid Verse. And then when Acid Verse existed, Sol was able to jump in. And then all of y'all were able to contribute that. So I just love how that just keeps building for me. And community means so much to me. So that having y'all here in this room means so much to me. So I just want to thank you all for just being part of this journey with me.
Thank you for sharing that, Tori. Like I was saying earlier, it was an interesting experience, and part of that had to do a lot with just being so just part of this space where you're collecting other people's work on something that like Tori said earlier, I did come up with the theme for this journal, and that's mostly because that's just how I usually write. Um just with music all around, or I'll be listening to a song and then just start thinking of a poem So I was just interested in seeing how other people would take that, and we got a lot of a lot of very like cool and like beautiful work, like like with Huang's poem, like specifically, is the one that I think about a lot because it just like stuck out to me so much, especially it being like a popular song from their culture specifically, and like um things along those lines. And then people took like some comedic roots with it. Like we have a Pussycat song in playlist somewhere. It was an interesting take on that, but it was it was just really cool, like being able to like be part of that experience of like other people's like work coming together. Because like as a poet myself, I've been someone that submitted work, but not necessarily like looking at all these submissions, seeing people's like interpretations of a theme or a prompt and like stuff like that. So that was really cool. And just being able to work with Tori like this, Tori's like a poet that I really respect and like admire. So like being able to have like a creative space with them in that way, and like having them like be so down for like my ideas with these things, like as a co-collaborator on this, and or collaborator curator, I don't know, but all that. Sorry, I feel embarrassed being put on the spot like this, but yeah, that's my whole thing.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome.
Um,
Just,
Hi.
oh, go ahead.
I just want to say something too. Now, I just want to again extend my thanks and gratitude to Tori and Soul and all the contributors. But just it's just so amazing and exciting to see Acid Verse Literary Journal take on this new life. We have a volume every year, but this one is so special. As Tori mentioned, like having that component with music, and not just work inspired by music, but to include music or to have you and your voices sharing your work in your own way, in your own voice, your own rhythm, on that Spotify, on that MP3, being able to play it and broadcast it on the radio. I mean, it lives in a new form. And I think that's what makes this so unique and special. Like essentially we have like a literary journal, the mixtape CD, right? Or album, or however you want to see it. And that makes us so much like, it makes us eligible for a whole nother like component of recognitions, awards. So I'm like, just shout to Soul for that idea. And I also learned, I think it's a collaboration with Nikolai, and thank you to Nikolai for that. And everybody, this wouldn't exist without you. And Assiverse wouldn't exist with all of you are beautiful sparks of energy and light worldwide. I mean, it feels so good. And one of my favorite things to say about Los Angeles Poet Society and our small press and anything we do is that there are no borders. Everyone can be included. There's no gatekeeping. It's like, it's for everyone. It's for the taking if you want it. And you all did and made that a part of you. And like, you are LA Poet Society. You are LA Poet Society Press. And I just want to say thank you. I'm like just so proud, so grateful. And I'm glad, we're live streaming so this can continue to be shared and everyone will hear your work in all time zones. And that is definitely the beauty of the organization and just being a part of this group. And again, big thanks to Tori and Sol. And also we have Sebastian Camarena, who's also an Assiversely, who's now joining the admin team and being a press coordinator with us too, to be helping us. And so we're just grateful that our team is expanding, and we're grateful for you. But I just wanted to say thank you. And I'm excited that the book is launched. So Mateo, Gracias Coatli, and great work. Everything has been fire. I'm so, so proud of everyone. And thank you, Jesse, too. That's such a great host. I appreciate you, Jesse. Love you, brother.
No,
Gotta
I'm
see
glad
you
to
again.
like collab. Yeah, definitely appreciate collaborating with y'all for this virtual event. Yeah, this is awesome. Getting to see like people from the Apple Society read. It's always fun to like be a part of these events, especially for the Apple Society, and especially having voices from like not just like LA area, but like NorCal and NYC, Texas, Brazil. It's really cool, so dope. And then, oh, you know what I want to say real quick? Before we end, since it is still early, Dawn, do you think you can put up that video? I wasn't trying to say, oh, like don't show it at all or whatever. It was just that we were just trying to make sure, everyone, no, or what was that we didn't like, run out of time, but we have time for you to show your video if you're able to do that right now.
Yeah, I can try. Just a second. Please tell me if the image is appearing. This one is in Portuguese.
Caminho colorido para te receber.
Does the video appear now? The image?
Yes.
Yeah. All right. I'm gonna mute myself because someone is watching TV in the next room.
E te dar as boas-vindas em bloco de prédios cinzas, histórias cinzas. De vez em quando por aqui, as vozes das paredes contam histórias cor de sangue. De vez em quando por aqui, as histórias têm cor de sangue. As casas habitam terrenos que já foram habitados muito antes pela natureza. Os nossos corpos são terrenos que já foram habitados muito antes por outras vidas. Então, antes de construir, vamos saudar, pedir licença e ocupar com respeito. Vamos pedir licença a quem veio antes de nós, mas lembre-se, ocupar com respeito. O entorno é muito maior que você, é só um grão de areia, que um dia já foi pedra. O entorno é muito maior que você, é só um grão de areia, que um dia já foi pedra. Mas você é muito maior que um grão de areia. Olha quanta areia cabe na palma da sua mão. Cuidado para não deixar escorregar. As histórias se constroem uma em cima das outras, igual camadas de adubo, uma em cima das outras. As histórias se constroem uma em cima das outras, igual camada de adubo. As histórias se constroem uma em cima das outras, uma em cima das outras, uma em cima das outras e uma em cima das outras. Você está pisando na história de alguém e tem alguém pisando na sua. Você está pisando na história de alguém e tem alguém pisando na sua. Quem é que pisa mais forte e deixa marcas? Não esqueça de olhar para baixo antes de olhar para cima. Não esqueça de olhar para baixo antes de olhar para cima. As casas habitam terrenos que já foram habitados muito antes pela natureza. Nossos corpos são terrenos que já foram habitados muito antes por outras vidas. Que já foram habitados muito antes por outras vidas, ou outras vidas. Outras vidas.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that, Dawn. Really appreciate it. That was so cool. Oh, I just wanted to ask Soledad and Tauri and Jessica Wilson. I mentioned earlier about the best small fictions nominee. Is it okay if I read that prose poem to close us out?
Yeah, that's cool.
Awesome. Alrighty. So, as I mentioned earlier in the beginning of the broadcast, Acid Verse 3 has a nominated piece in there that has been nominated for Best Small Fictions, and that is let me see. I'm gonna pull the piece. My Other Place of Birth Was Middle Earth by Mike the Poet, Mike Sonskin. So yeah, I'm about to read right now. All men have secrets, and here's mine, so let it be known. Sometime around 1989, I started going to Middle Earth Records in Downey. It was damn near the only place between Long Beach and Melrose that you could get rare music on import. Usually I was sitting shotgun in Phil Kwan's 1983 Mazda RX-7. Kwan wasn't even 16 yet, but his older brother, Young, let him take the car, and we went all over LA County with the windows down and the music loud. Stop me if you think you heard this one before. Middle Earth was where we bought cassette tapes of Depeche Mode, The Smiths, The Cure, New Order, Sioski, I can't even say that word, and the Banshees, Echo and Amp, and the Bunnyman, early U2. I even got the Bowie compilation changes. My other best friend, Philip Medina, was usually with us too. Medina loved the Police, UB40, Screedy Politi, Trash Can Sinatras, Howard Jones, and we all love Morrissey. The three of us rolled to Middle Earth from our neighborhood in Cerritos, sometimes on the 605 North, sometimes on Lakewood Boulevard, down the long thoroughfare past Artesia, Alondra, Rosecrans, Imperial before Firestone. K-Rock was our sonic Bible. Richard Blade played our soundtrack. Middle Earth, the center of our map where we went to fill up. New Wave was modern rock post-punk. Burn down the disco. Hang the blessed DJ because the music that they constantly play says nothing to me about my life. I got the Stone Roses Fool's Gold on import at Middle Earth in 1990. They made me want to go to Manchester, and Morrissey taught me about British poetry. Keats and Yeats on your side. Wilde is on mine. Middle Earth held the Holy Grail. All the answers were there. In a few years, we started going to Aaron's Records in Hollywood or other far-off stores, but Middle Earth was my place of birth where it all started, our oasis in a suburban wasteland. It was dark as I drove the point home. By the time I got to UCLA in 1992, those years of close listening taught me to break down language. I've seen this happen in other people's lives. Now it's happening in mine. Lyrics were my liturgy, whether it was Morrissey telling me the Queen is dead or the Digital Planet schooling me on the Black Arts movement or early 90s hip-hop, hipping me to Roy Ayers, P-Funk, and Donald Byrd. The more I heard, the more I learned, the more I explored. There is light, and it never goes out. I dug as deep as I could. Thought I was born in Long Beach. My other place of birth was Middle Earth. So that is that prose poem by Mike Sonskin. And once again, yeah, we just want to thank you all for tuning in on YouTube. And for those that actually that tuned in through the Zoom link, thank you as well for being here, hanging out with all of us. And I guess, yeah, we're going to have a
All right, I
Thank you,
guess
everyone.
there we go. Go ahead, Sol.
It was too quiet for too long. Thank you, everyone, for coming out, all our readers and anybody tuning in. It's a beautiful issue, and we're excited to have the physical copies come out, which in the chat, I think Jessica said March, so next month.
Yeah, we also have a reading on March 10th. It's a Sunday at the same time, and there'll also be some other features from Acidverse, including Angelica Sanchez and Nathan Castellanos with some other folks. So I hope y'all could tune in for that. Thank you all for being here, and I'm really excited for the printed version to also come out in March. Thank you, Jessica, for all your hard work. Thank you, Jesse, and thank you for all the feature. Thank you, Sol.
thank you, everyone. Yay!
Party,
Thank
unmuted
you.
party. Woo! We got Brazil in the house, Texas in the house, New York in the house, Cali in the house. Shout it out. I'm so grateful. Thank you, everybody. Also, March 1st is our first ever huge benefit fundraiser we're having. If you're in the LA area, it's 7 to 10 p.m. in Floricanto Performing Arts Center in East Los in Boyle Heights. All the info is on our socials. I'm sure you probably did see it already, but just had to plug that. And it's a chance to meet our board of directors. We have danza, music, awards, poetry readings, all kinds of good stuff. But it's also, we're having it to keep our press going too, so we can get these out sooner and, keep sustaining our the work we do. And thank you again for being a part of everything. Thank you, guys.